What if I told you that you could move to Germany, look for a job, and the only thing that you need to show is if your degree is recognized? That's what the Germany Chancenkarte is about, and today I'm going to talk about this Chancenkarte, also known as the opportunity card. So today I'll explain what the Chancenkarte or the opportunity card is, how it works, and also share with you a real experience of my friend who relocated from Zimbabwe to Germany using this opportunity. So let's talk about the Chancenkarte. Hello everyone, if you're new here, my name is Tafara, and on this channel we talk about opportunities in education, scholarships, and personal growth. Of course, we talk a lot about scholarships, but today I bring you another opportunity that you can use to relocate to Germany. So let's talk about the Chancenkarte or the opportunity card. What is it about? How do you go about the process of getting it? So the Chancenkarte or the opportunity card is a visa for skilled job seekers in Germany, especially those that are in shortage professions. So what it does is that it uses a point system, but if you have a recognized degree or a master's, you can bypass the points. So you need to first ensure that your degree is recognized in Germany, and also your skills that you're applying for are in shortage. So what you need to do first is to go and check if your degree is recognized on the ANABIN website. So there's a specified website where you can go and check if your degree is recognized. If it's not recognized, you can apply for an evaluation through the Central Office for Foreign Education. That means you have to go an extra mile, and this whole process of checking if your degree is recognized takes about 3 months, and it costs around 210 euros. So it is all about experience. So now let me give you an insight using my friend's real experience who managed to relocate from Zimbabwe to Germany through the Chancenkarte. So I'm going to tell you the process, what she did, and how she overcome some of the things that she faced during the process. So the first thing that we need to talk about is the application requirements. The first thing that is important is having a blocked account which shows the proof of funds, and this is around 1,050 to 1,100 euros per month, and you can put in the money depending on how many months you want to stay. You might say, I want to stay 6 months or 9 months or 1 year. It all depends. So for example, for someone who wants to stay there for 9 months, they can put maybe 10,000 to 12,000 euros, including charges. So for some of you who are in developing countries like Zimbabwe, you might be wondering, how do I get to have a blocked account? There are differences in the accounts in different countries. I can speak for Zimbabwe. I know that we do have our Nostro accounts, but in this case, you need to have a blocked account, which is Germany based. So my friend used a platform or a bank called Expatrio or Fintiba, which also works as well. So at the Expatrio website, they have packages that include both having them to facilitate your blocked account and also get the health insurance. So we hadn't reached the part where you need a health insurance, but it's one of the application requirements. And these Expatrio and Fintibo help you to facilitate both, so you don't need to worry about the health insurance and the blocked account separately. They can facilitate that for you. So this is one of the most important things. If you want to have a blocked account, please check Expatrio or Fintiba and see which packages work for you. Now, the other thing that is required is proof, like your certificates and your ZAB evaluation, whereby I talked about the country, like the foreign education system that evaluates your degree, which is the ZAB evaluation. That you need that if your degree was not recognized on the ANAB website. Now, I talked about proof of health insurance already, which I spoke about in the bank. And then you also need your application amount, your application fee, which is around 75 euros. And then you also have to have passport and also your 2 passport size photos. And basically that's what you need to have. So as you can see, the list is not much. I think the process that takes long is for you to evaluate your degree, and you even have to go a step further if your degree is not being recognized on the ANAB website. So let's talk about the process, right? All the things are done online except for the visa interview. So what you have to do is you go to the German embassy portal of your country. In my case, in my friend's case, it was Zimbabwe. So if you are in Kenya, if you are in Ghana, if you are in Nigeria, you go on the embassy of Germany in your country, and then there's a link that takes you to the Chancenkarte or the Opportunity Card website, and then in that you create your application, you create an account, you upload all your documents, and then after submitting them, you wait for an invite. In my case, in my friend's case, I'm gonna refer to it as my friend's case, but in my friend's case, they submitted, let's say, on a Thursday, right? They submitted all the documents on a Thursday, and then they got invited for a visa interview the next Tuesday. So we can say it took 2 working days, that is Friday and Monday. And then when they were invited for the interview, they chose the interview to be the next day. That was the Wednesday. So it depends. You might say, okay, I got invited today. Maybe I need 2-3 days to prepare. So it depends. But I would advise you to, once you start the process, please kick it up. Like, try to please make sure that you do it on time. So after they did that, after they went to the interview, here are some of the questions that he was asked. I would like to say that this depends on the consular that you meet. So it's not like these are the questions that they are going to ask you, but these are just guidelines. So the first thing that he was asked was, do you have accommodation in Europe? And if you have accommodation in Europe, that's an added advantage. Or if you have a relative already in Europe, that's an added advantage. In this case, it's Germany. And then they also asked if he was actively looking for jobs, right? So in my friend's case, he was not letting anything hinder him from, from getting this opportunity. So he had carried out printouts of all the job interviews or all the job applications that he had done. And I would like to dwell on this and tell you that having proof of accommodation and also proof of, what you have been doing in terms of looking for jobs in Germany, or having a proof of a family member in Germany is a plus, or in Europe. So make sure that you garner all the things that will put you in favor of getting the visa. Now, after the interview, it's all about the process of waiting. So the next step was to wait for his passport collection call. And I think in his case, he was called the very next day. So in his case, it didn't take like a lot of months. I think the only process that took him time was having to evaluate his degrees, and which was like approximately, it's like 3 months. But after that, everything like happened in a span of, let's just say, 14 days, a meeting, going to the interview, getting back his passport. Now, whilst you have like gotten your visa, right? Then you can start preparing to travel. One thing that I want you to note down is that make sure that the date that you put on your application that you want to travel is really the date that you really need to travel, because this is different from other visas where you get 3 months and then you can renew and all of that stuff. But for this one, you have to make sure that the date that you put is the date that you intend to travel, because if you travel a little bit later, it means your visa has already started. Like if you say I want to start 1 June, and if you applied for 6 months, that means by 30 December that visa will expire, irregardless of you traveling maybe 30 June or even in July. So please take note of that. And then I also want to emphasize that calculate the amount of money that you need in the blocked account depending on the months that you want. In my case, my friend had 11,500 to 12,000 for 9 months. And then we include the visa fees. I think we have done the breakdown of the we have done the breakdown of the finances. Now, I want to talk about, many people are going to say, oh, I have cash at my house, or I have a Nostro account. How do I do it? I would advise you to go to your bank. They help you with the transfer. It takes like 2 to 3 days, right, for the money to reflect in your German bank account. So this is very important, and you need to take into account the miscellaneous or the conversion or the transfer fees that comes with the process. Some people say they could use Western Union, they could use Mukuru, but when it comes to those large amounts, I think traceability is very important. If you go to the bank, ask them to transfer for you. If the money doesn't reflect after 3 days, you can always go back and ask and, try to follow up and see how it goes. But in the case of Western Union and Mukuru, traceability is a bit, not so good. So I would advise people to use bank. If you're in Zimbabwe, you can use CABS, you can use FBC, you can use Stanbic. There are quite a lot of banks that are really reputable when it comes to doing these large amount transfers. Now, I want to talk about the blocked account. I'm still dwelling on the blocked account because that is a make or break for your application. Make sure that you use your own name on the bank account. This helps you to avoid extra tax. So instead of using your relative's account or anyone's account, try to transfer the money from your own account to another person's account. And I know that in Zimbabwe, we know that people keep money in their homes, and it's understandable when you want to go to the bank and you want to deposit, you deposit it in your own name. It's very important. And as I have said, the money takes at least 2 to 3 days to reflect from Zimbabwe. Now, I'm going to tell you what my friend's experience was after he traveled. He traveled, and when he was once in Germany, there is a problem with accessing the funds, especially before you register yourself. Here there is a city registration that you have to do, like trying to announce yourself that, oh, I'm so and so, I'm living in this place, I came from Zimbabwe. So like you have to register yourself when you enter a country. So before you have a city registration, right, you cannot access the funds. So that's the downside of it. So it means that when you get your visa and you're traveling, try to keep some money extra on the side. That helps you to find accommodation, settle in, do your day-to-day runnings whilst you sort out the city registration, and also ensure that you can now access your funds. So make sure that you have extra pocket money, and I think this is very important. So I know some of you are going to ask, German speaks another language, is language a problem, and a job search and stuff. I would like to say, if your degree is recognized, then you don't need any German language certificates before you travel to any city that you're going to in Germany. But let's talk about if you really want to integrate, or if you really want to make it easier for you to get a job, you need to learn the language. It is a huge advantage. It will help you like in navigating whilst you try to settle down, and it also kind of opens more job opportunities for you. I understand for some people who have degrees in IT or are doing, some of those jobs that are more international, sorry, I'm going to use that term, they can actually get jobs in English speaking countries and stuff. But honestly, for better integration and for better opportunities, you need to learn the language. Now, I also want to talk about when you have the Chancenkarte, you are there, you don't have a job. When you have that visa, you can work part-time while job hunting, right? And then once you secure a job, you can then convert it into a regular work visa. So what it means that is this opportunity is not for you to go there and relax. Time is of essence. When you get there, make sure you're working part-time, raising some money, and also make sure that you secure a job that can be converted to your work visa for you to stay. So this is like a process that is bridging the gap, like for one to enter the country, and once they get a job, they can have like long-term stays and stuff. So this is very important that you take note of this, because I wouldn't want some of you guys to come and then after a year you have to go back because you haven't secured a job that wants to fund your work visa and all of that stuff. It will be like taking 10 steps forward and then taking 20 steps back. So make sure that when you come, you're so proactive and you know that time is of essence. You cannot do things last minute, because what I've seen with first world countries is that they value their time, their schedules. You cannot bend rules. If they have closed applications, they have closed, and all of that. So this is just a reminder to make sure that you know that time is of essence. So I think I've talked enough. To recap, a Chancenkarte, or an opportunity card from Germany, is a gateway to Germany for skilled workers. I have talked about this. It's a gateway. It's not like you have actually reached where you want to go. It's a gateway, which means once that gateway window period ends, if you don't find something to settle you in Germany, you might need to go back to your country. And then one thing that I also want to recap is that if your degree is recognized, you can skip the point system. And also you would need a blocked account, health insurance, and the proper document. So I've shared with you the general information about the Chancenkarte. I've also shared with you my friend's experience, showing how the process can move quickly once you prepare well. It means that it can move quickly if you prepare well, or it can move slowly if your things are lacking in some extent. So let me know if you would like to try the Chancenkarte route, and let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and for more opportunity updates or immigration updates, please comment. So thank you guys for watching. I hope one of you guys takes this opportunity and uses it wisely. Bye. Ciao.